Our patient is a 2004 Dodge Grand Caravan with a 3.3 liter. Today, we'll be replacing the water pump. To get things started, we'll go ahead and drain the coolant. On the driver's side, there's a little drain plug or petcock at the bottom of the radiator. You'll see it. Plenty of access, so we'll put our drain pan under there, crack that loose, and let it drain. The majority of our work will be done on the passenger wheel well, so we want to jack it up, put it on jack stands, and take that passenger tire off. So now we want to remove the belt cover. That's this plastic piece right here. There's just a couple of clips. Here's a clip. There's some underneath, and then one in the front that we'll just want to take off and remove that. I can get you oriented. This is the crankshaft pulley here. This is the AC compressor, and then this is the water pump right here. So first thing we want to do is take our belt off. There's a tensioner right here. So it looks like it turns counterclockwise to release the tension. You can use a 1/2 inch square drive and then just pull on it, and you can see the belt loses tension. Let me just take the belt off. Now would be a good time to inspect your belt, look for cracks or anything. If the belt looks like it could be replaced, perfect timing. So now we want to get these bolts off. They're 13 millimeter, there's 3 of them, but the pulley will want to spin now that we don't have the belt on. So there's a couple ways to do it. You could have left the belt on, tried to crack these loose, and just turn the crank to get to the next bolt. As it is, we could still put a screwdriver or a little pry bar in there. It has little notches in the pulley, and that'll be enough to hold it while we break it loose. So they don't give you enough room to pull out the pulley, but that's okay. Now that it's loose, it allows us to maneuver it around, and we can get the 5 main water pump bolts out, and they're 10 millimeter bolts, and we just want to knock those loose and pop them out. And put your drain pan underneath here, because you'll most likely lose a little more coolant left behind. Once all your bolts are loose, you should be able to just wiggle it. Now the pulley will have to go behind. I don't know if you can see that, but these little cutouts match the little ears. So make it go behind those ears. Wiggle it around. I think I got it. It should pop off. There we go. So now we want to just clean off our mating surface on this side of things. So you want to line up your new pump, old pump. Just give them a good look over, make sure everything is the same form and factor. And we can put our gasket in. Now this gasket has the potential of falling out. If you would like, you could put just a tiny dab of RTV here, here, here. Not goop, but just enough to give it a stick. It doesn't take a lot, but if you do that, then you want to put it in right away. Now you don't need any RTV on the engine side of things. Just a drop. We're talking just a little drop, and that'll give it something to stick to. Less chance of it popping out on its way in. Now I want to go ahead and put it in immediately. So just the opposite of how it came out. This will go over and just kind of fit in like that, and then the whole thing can go on. Okay, now we can start putting in our bolts. I need to lay here, so I can't really film it. All right, once our main water pump bolts are tightened, and they do have a torque, 105 inch-pounds. So if you are able to get a torque wrench in there, sweet. If not, 105 inch-pounds really isn't a whole lot. So now we can put our hub back on, or our pulley back on the hub. And those are 250 inch-pounds. Once those are snug, give it a good spin. Make sure it's not hitting anything on the inside. And now we're ready to tighten them down. Now we can go ahead and put our belt on. So now that our belt's on, we'll go ahead and leave the cover off for now. We'll fill it up with coolant and then make sure that there aren't any leaks. We want to make sure that our drain is closed all the way, then we'll fill it up with coolant. So as you're filling it up, you can come down and just look for any leaks around the water pump. If the gasket didn't seat right, it'll leak right away as soon as you start putting coolant in it. We're nice and dry down here. Our radiator is topped up. We go ahead and fire it up and come back down, double check once again for leaks. We won't expect any at this point, but it's always good to double check. Then we'll put our cover back on and then our tire. Well, there you go. That's how you can replace a water pump on a 2004 Dodge Grand Caravan 3.3 liter, Chrysler Town & Country 3.3 liter, 3.8 even is exactly the same. Spans over a couple of years for sure. These engines are in a lot of these vans. Some things to keep in mind: this took a little over 1.5 gallons of coolant, and I use premix. It's just easier for me, so I don't have to buy distilled water to mix with my concentrate. But altogether was a little over 1.5 gallons of mixed coolant. So that's something to keep in mind. So this is the old pump. This is how you look at it. This bolt right here gave me the most trouble because you're coming in from this side. It was just really awkward moving that pulley around to get to it. Was really awkward. You can't get a ratchet and a socket, or I couldn't get a ratchet and a socket on it. I ended up using a ratcheting wrench. And really, that's the best to get most of these off. 4 out of the 5 ratcheting wrench is your best friend. This bottom one, my ratcheting wrench would not fit because the wrench ratcheting side was too fat, and it's kind of close to this metal thing, so it wouldn't fit over. But good thing that a socket and a ratchet does fit on this one. But some, the ratchet doesn't work, but the ratcheting wrench is what worked. So I think that's it. Really easy job, nothing to it. Just wiggle it out. You kind of have to maneuver because of the way it is on the engine. I didn't really get a shot of it, but this plastic thing can kind of get caught on a lip. So you just kind of just maneuver it around. It'll pop out of its hole. That's it. Oh, if with the new gasket, I used a little RTV, not gooped, but just a couple of dots to hold it in place so it wouldn't fall out when I was putting it back in. That's it. Easy job. You can do it. Thanks for watching. Like, subscribe. See you in the next one.